In the simplest form, we can set up lead nurturing as we have a qualifying event. So imagine having this lead generation campaign, and we've got emails out there, we've got paid search, we've got a few different offers, sending people to a landing page, having them fill out a registration form. They're getting through to a Salesforce. In the simplest form, Salesforce says, I had enough of all of these leads. Where are the qualified ones? So qualifying event could basically be anybody who attends a certain webinar, anybody who even downloads a white paper, even though it's not what we would call a qualified lead. That is an event. So we can establish an event. But to go quite a bit deeper and really add enough quality there to further close that marketing and sales gap requires more sophistication. Also requires more time, more cost. But that's where you need to go back to the numbers and say, okay, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have salespeople engaged in less but more valuable conversations. Let's measure their time, and let's measure the increase in conversion from having an effective sales conversation, because really a salesperson is going to be a little more animated, a little more engaged if they know they're going to dog it more if they know that they've got a good prospect there who's ready to go. So it's really kind of going back to the numbers and figuring out the value of engaging in this kind of a lead nurturing program. So that's kind of how we decide whether we go a little bit more complex. Now, if we do go more complex, then we've got to go into the process of going back and identifying those audiences, identifying their buying phases, and then the informational needs at those buying phases. So that's why we spent a pretty good amount of time on that kind of offer map. We can overlay that offer map into this lead nurturing process. Then we build the flow out. So this is an example of a flow. It looks like a basic process flow, and it is, and that's what you're doing. The key there is we're going to build that flow as a theory, and then we're going to build it so that we can modify it. And that's where I will get into the tools process a bit, or the tools conversation a bit. Different tools make this easier than others to actually modify. So think about that and try not to carve yourself into a corner with tools that are going to be too inflexible.